Governments and banks are closing in on crypto from every direction. They aren't trying to prevent a market crash. They are moving to establish absolute control. Wall Street has effectively pulled the plug on the decentralized ecosystem, replacing the original dream with a coordinated, systemic shutdown. This transition is shifting trillions into a new institutional reality, creating a massive pivot point for investors who know how to read the change. The crypto rebellion has met a wall of systemic oversight. Recognizing who now holds the keys to the ledger is the only way to protect your wealth from the fallout. In 2021, the dream was intoxicating. Bitcoin promised a way to bypass the banking system entirely, a rebellion for a generation tired of traditional finance. By 2026, that dream has met a brutal reality. The industry is bleeding out, and billions in retail wealth have vanished in a market that feels increasingly rigged. This collapse is different from past cycles. The promise of financial freedom is cracking under a structural shift that retail investors never saw coming. The decentralized experiment didn't just fail, it created the exact vulnerabilities that the old financial system needed to dismantle it from within. The rot started from the inside. A get-rich-quick casino mentality, fueled by meme coins and pure speculation, eroded the technological foundations of the industry. That greed centralized power back into the hands of venture capital firms and influencers, abandoning the very decentralization that made the technology valuable. Then the big money moved in. Institutional players entered the space for leverage and trade volume, not to support a revolution. Bitcoin now tracks the Nasdaq with almost perfect precision. Crypto has lost its independence. As the data updates, we see institutional leverage actively draining liquidity. The big players are heading for the exits, leaving retail holders to absorb the losses. By chasing hype over fundamentals, the crypto ecosystem handed control back to the exact institutions it was designed to replace. Regulators are now deploying the liquidity chokehold. Governments are moving aggressively because unregulated assets threaten their grip on taxes and global money flows. This pressure is already breaking major infrastructure. Bitcoin Depot, North America's largest kiosk network, recently filed for bankruptcy, shutting down 9,000 physical machines in a single wave. This isn't just one company failing. New compliance standards under the Clarity Act have made it impossibly expensive for independent firms to bridge the gap between digital coins and the real world. The lawless frontier has been mapped and gated. The original promise of escaping the financial system is being absorbed into the system itself. Here is the twist. The rebellious crypto movement is being hollowed out, so the underlying technology can be hijacked by traditional finance. While independent firms buckle under the weight of legal fees, the world's largest asset managers are going vertical, buying up the infrastructure to run their own networks. This is the birth of tokenomics 2.0. In this new era, government bonds and stocks are being moved onto centralized, monitored corporate ledgers. The financial elite are capturing the blockchain, replacing the dream of financial anarchy with a perfectly compliant institutional layer. Every financial revolution eventually yields to the gravity of human nature and the desire for state control. The shift is already happening. Capital is moving away from speculative gambles and into the regulated infrastructure favored by Wall Street. The era of the unregulated utopia is concluding, replaced by a professionalized corporate battlefield. This evolution will determine if crypto becomes a new pillar of finance or just another Wall Street product. Subscribe to track this new chapter and let us know in the comments, is this progress or a betrayal?